Hello, the inspiration I would like to share with you today comes from the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And the topic that I want to focus on is the topic that actually talk about the presence and the power of the present moment. Let me share with you, with a part of it, the past cannot survive in your presence. You mentioned that thinking or talking about the past unnecessarily is one of the ways in which we avoid the present. But apart from the past that we remember and perhaps identify with, isn't there another level of past within us that is much more deep-seated? I'm talking about the unconscious past that conditions our lives, especially through early childhood experiences, perhaps even past life experiences. And then there is our cultural conditioning, which has to do with where we live geographically and the historical time period in which we live. All these things determine how we see the world, how we react, what we think, what kind of relationships we have, how we live our lives. How could we ever become conscious of all that or get rid of it? How long would that take? And even if we did, what would there be left? And the answer is, what is left when illusion ends? There is no need to investigate the unconscious past in you, except as it manifests at this moment as a thought, an emotion, a desire, a reaction, or an external event that happens to you. Whatever you need to know about the unconscious past in you, the challenges of the present will bring it out. The challenges of present will bring it out. If you delve into the past, it will become a bottomless pit. There is always more. You may think that you need more time to understand the past or become free of it. In other words, that the future will eventually free you of the past. This is a delusion. Only the present can free you of the past. More time cannot free you of time. Access the power of now. That is the key. What is the power of now? None other than the power of your presence, your consciousness liberated from thought forms. So deal with the past on the level of the present. The more attention you give to the past, the more you energize it, and the more likely you are to make a self out of it. You are to make a self out of it, a self in inverted commas. Don't misunderstand. Attention is essential, but not to the past as past. Give attention to the present. Give attention to your behavior, to your reactions, moods, thoughts, emotions, fears, and desires as they occur in the present. There's the past in you. If you can be present enough to watch all those things, not critically or analytically, but non-judgmentally, then you are dealing with the past and dissolving it through the power of your presence. You cannot find yourself by going into the past. You find yourself by coming into the present. So in other words, if we feel some uncomfortable emotions, feelings coming up, and we connect it somehow with our memories, what Eckhart Tolle invites us to do is to stay in the present moment and fully feel the emotions. Stay in the present, observe yourself. That can liberate us from that pain and fear. And the last question, isn't it helpful to understand the past and so understand why we do certain things, react in certain ways, or why we unconsciously create our particular kind of drama, patterns in relationships, and so on. I remember asking that question a lot. I thought, I need to get down to my past. I need to understand it. I need to put it into pieces and investigate every single piece. But like it says, it becomes like this never-ending pit. We could carry on dwelling and dwelling on the past, trying to find the answers. But really the answers are in the present. And let's listen to the answer. As you become more conscious of your present reality, you may suddenly get certain insights as to why your conditioning functions in those particular ways. For example, why your relationships follow certain patterns. And you may remember things that happened in the past or see them more clearly. That is fine and can be helpful, but it is not essential. What is essential is your conscious presence. That dissolves the past. That is the transformative agent. So don't seek to understand the past, but be as present as you can. The past cannot survive in your presence. That's very true. It can only survive in your absence. The past cannot survive in your present. That's very true. When we focus on here and now, it's impossible to return to the past. And being here and now and becoming that detective, focusing on the smallest details of here and now, of the present moment, becomes like an accelerator to understanding ourselves better. And when we choose to stay in the past and carry the pain from the past, we usually become very blind to what's going on around us. And we understand or explain certain situations with certain patterns or through the lens of certain patterns. I remember practicing the power of now, so staying in the present moment, being aware of what's going on. It's an exercise that is definitely worth being repeated again and again and again. And it took me some years when one day, when staying in the present moment and finding myself yet again in a quite toxic relationship, by allowing myself to fully be present in that specific moment, it felt like a fog for the first time in a long time cleared out. And I could see clearly the pattern of me stepping into choosing the relationships that were not healthy. And by staying in the present moment, being here and now and looking at the situation as it was, I noticed something that was common for all my past relationships. But it was only possible by my attention or by guiding my attention to the present moment.
It's 15 hours.
And so when I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle for the first time and found out that idea of cherishing the present moment as a gift and staying in the present, I started experimenting with this idea. It doesn't mean that I was very successful from day one, but I definitely started seeing changes. And every day, while trying to become more aware of the present moment, I could feel a little teeny tiny shift happening within me. My awareness was growing. My attention to now was expanding. I wonder what you may find out when you choose to stay in the present rather than dwelling in the past. I used to dwell in the past for many years, many years of my life. dwelling from the position of a victim. I had my past story. And I was using this story as a medal, as a badge of honor. I loved showing that past story to new friends, new acquaintances, showing myself or presenting myself from the perspective of the past and presenting myself from the weak position of a victim. And only when I read the book, The Power of Now, the first 100 pages were hard because all those concepts were completely new for me. But I continued reading. And as I was coming to the end, I was really intrigued by the idea of staying in the present moment and seeing or viewing the world from a different perspective. And that has changed my life. I wonder what you have discovered already by staying in the present moment. I would be grateful if you felt like sharing with me. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments, write to me. Thank you for today. The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I will come back to this book and share more inspiration with you. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye.